Hey everyone, welcome back to Triple R Reefer. Look at that pop! Damn! I swear, every time I look at this tank now, I'm just like happier. Okay, let's see here. First things first, I wanted to mention this YouTube channel again because I just don't think it really gets the credit it deserves. It's coming along, I'll tell you that. Um, but if you hadn't had a chance, go check out Aquaticbobs YouTube channel. This guy's tank is absolute stunning. The channel itself, excellent as far as the content goes. The corals are just another little plus to it, but guy puts out great content. Um, I'll say this: his care level towards other reefers is really what I guess intrigued me and made me really check his channel out even further. But you can tell the guy cares. He cares about the animals. He cares about the reefers. He cares about people, I guess, and that's not common. So anyway, I really suggest you go check his channel out if you haven't already. Aquaticbobs. I'll put a link down the description. I know how to do that now. I actually edited my first YouTube video the other day. I added music. Damn, I'm coming along. Just kidding, I suck. Okay, but seriously, go check his channel out. Guys, tank's ridiculous. I'd say I probably got him beat in SPS. Maybe. Debatable. But good Lord, has he got everything else. So, okay. Aquaticbobs, check him out. So this video, God, I'm 2 minutes in. Okay, this video is going to be about how to add expert level fish to your tank. I took a little notes, so I'm going to try to stick to that and get to my photo so I can even look at it. There we go. All right, so I guess this can go for any fish, but I'll just say this: most of your tangs and most of your big fish are going to be pretty easy anyway, but so I guess take this for what you know. This doesn't apply to every fish. There's some fish that, I don't know, maybe it does. We'll just get through this and see what we got. Probably will be some of the best content I've ever put out. Jokes. All right. First and foremost, this is going to come as a shocker. Oh, real quick. Look at that OG bounce. I added him to the main. Good Lord. Trying to figure out how to get these. Well, they're actually looking already better. But, oh man, this thing's just. Anyway, I love it. All right. And I added some other corals up here. The glare is awesome. So, let me put this in my strong hand so that it's not so shaky. All right. You can tell they think they're about to get fed. All right, number one. These are kind of, let's make this keys to success when it comes to expert level fish. First of all, what's an expert level fish? I think that term gets thrown around pretty loosely, and it's pretty general if you really think about it. But to me, an expert level fish is going to be one that's generally hard to get eating, very hard to get through quarantine, probably expensive. Let's see if I miss anything. Maybe their diet is pretty specific. All right, that's I guess what I would call an expert level fish. All right, so first key, and it kind of blankets everything else, but I just think it's a very big key to success, and that is buying a quarantined fish, one that's already quarantined. My other video on why you should only buy quarantined fish is going to outline this, but let's just talk about why it makes sense when buying expert level fish. Okay, first of all, the fish are hard to get to eat usually. They're known for not eating and being just a pain in the butt to get to have them eating your prepared foods. So buying a quarantine fish is going to solve that pretty instantly. Now it's not a guarantee because every fish can just stop eating whenever they want to, but in general, buying a quarantine fish is going to basically have that work already done for you. They're going to have already been swapped over to prepared foods because you can't do a real quarantine without having them eating. Let me fix this. Good Lord. I don't know if I'm going to mess this up or not. There we go. Better. So, having someone already doing that for you is going to solve a couple of key things. Number one, the quarantine process, of course. These fish, clam's mouth's open a little bit more than I want it to be. These fish can sometimes be stressed out by copper and other forms of treatment. So by letting someone else take that risk for you and doing all that work for you, that's going to be a pretty big key to you getting it to your main display because it's already done. So there is no quarantining an expert level fish and then hoping, that it makes it through the quarantine and into your tank. So that part's done for you. That's a huge win. Buy quarantine fish. The eating part. Again, it's not going to get through quarantine without eating. It's just not going to happen. Let's see. God, that alone should help you in your success with those kind of fish, with expert level fish. Let's see here. I guess number 2, and I may come back to number 1 a little bit, but add only compatible tank mates. Now, there's a part of that matters too. That's timing. You can't just add compatible tank mates and expect them to be okay. There needs to be some timing involved, generally, okay? Sometimes you can get lucky. I recommend, if you're going to add any aggressive fish, that you either add them together or at the end, after your expert level fish. You don't want anything that's going to stress them out. You don't want anything that's going to cause unnecessary stress to maybe keep them from eating and eventually, obviously, perishing. That's a pretty big one. I've seen some fish that have come to me and they've just been healthy as a horse, and because of my timing, having other fish in there that really weren't that compatible, maybe look the same, tangs, I'm looking at you, they'll basically just stress them into death. That's how that goes. You have to consider timing and tank mates together, okay? Very important to get an expert level fish into your tank and have long-term success, okay? All right, let's see, what's my next one? This is my work phone, so it shuts down quick. Okay, appropriate habitat. I'm really speaking of sand, but rock as well. You don't want to put a bunch of fish in without places to hide. So you need a decent amount of rock, or at least places to hide. That could be frag racks, that could be anything. Okay, so don't just hey, I got to put a bunch of rock in my tank, or I can't keep this expert level fish. These are also not guarantees. These are just helpful tips to hopefully have long-term success. So, sand, I've seen some videos where people claim that you don't need sand for wrasses, especially sand-burrowing wrasses like leopards, Amphis, how you say it, any of the sand-burrowing wrasses. Fairies don't burrow, they make a mucus cocoon. Yeah, I'm sure you could probably get away with it for a little while on a pretty hardy species, but go ahead and put yourself a Lenardi in your tank, a Lenardi wrasse that cost, I don't know, $1,000, maybe more quarantined. Hopefully you bought a quarantine fish. And then without sand, and tell me how you fare. I would actually bet money, and let me know if y'all want to. Bet money that fish will not make it. That's because they have sand and they sleep in sand in their natural habitat. You should be trying to provide the fish's natural habitat, not trying to get away with not having sand. The fish might be okay. I mean, that's wrong on a lot of levels. But that's of course an opinion there as far as it being wrong. What I will say is your chances of success are low on an expert level fish. Again, you're managing stress, you're providing it with the habitat it needs. It's a key to success, I will say. All right, that pretty much speaks for itself. Food and diet. So I will say this, a lot of people claim that you need to have pods for a lot of fish. And in general, if you were going to buy a wild caught fish that wasn't swapped over to prepared foods, say a non-quarantine fish, you might want to have those pods in there. But it is possible to get away with not having those, okay? You can absolutely get away with having one of these leopards without an expert level fish, without having pods in your tank. Now that goes for a lot of fish, but not all of them. Okay, so the mandarins, if you buy what's it, captive bred, so they'll come to you already on pellets. You know, they don't have to have pods. I would say it's probably good to have them just to supplement their diet if needed, but you know, it's not necessary. It's not absolutely necessary. It's just good. You know, you're providing that natural food that they would find in the wild, but you can get away with not having that. But what I will say is soak their foods, their prepared foods, and a vitamin supplement such as Celcon, vitamin C, maybe both. Definitely provide them with as much nutrition as possible if you want that success. Again, keeping them fat and healthy is pretty much a key. So I do mysis, I do brine shrimp, I do a mixture of like 5 different frozen foods with Celcon, and this tank gets fed so much. I do have pods in here. I've had thousands on the glass, but you know, these fish eat them up, and then eventually their population pretty much diminishes. So all these guys are still alive that still are supposed to have pods, even my mandarin. That's because he was, I just saw my marine beta. God, it's such a cryptic fish. But you know, the mandarin is fine because he came to me already quarantined, already switched over. Someone did that work for me. Anyway, pretty much all leads back to buying a quarantine fish. So, expert level fish, don't have to be an expert to own them. You need to try to follow these rules as best you can. I don't recommend, if you're brand new in the hobby and you have an absolute sterile tank, adding any of these fish that do like to eat pods, such as the leopards and such. But too many such as that kind of annoyed me. But you can do it, okay? I just don't recommend it. I feel like you can do anything you want to. It's not something I recommend. Maybe give your tank just a little bit of time to settle in and let that population grow, just in case you get one that's quarantined. But oh, my bar's turned off. It's quarantined and then decides, oh, I only want to eat pods now. So anyway, hedge your bet there. All right, everyone, quickly want to show, if y'all noticed my light just got dimmer, I added some Orphic bars, the 48-inch Orphic bars. And let me turn the light on so you can actually see what the hell I'm talking about. So what I did was I bought 2 and I just put a cable across the side, and it worked out just perfect. I mean, I literally could have been happier. Really neat thing too, and I still got to do some stuff with the wire management, is I ran this wire down here. Not sure if you can see. Nope. Okay. Bring that back. So I brought this wire down here, and because it's got tension on it, it actually turns the bar in a little bit, which is exactly what I wanted. But it's more natural. I didn't have to actually rig anything up. But anyway, just hooked them on to the little clamps there. Those hold the weight fine. I'm gonna add a couple extras. But again, I've held up way more than this. If you're even remotely curious about these bars, I can tell you, get them. I've never seen pop before with any other light. I mean, these things, I'll try to do a video later, maybe tomorrow, on just the bars. Oh my, I mean, it was ridiculous. I had the Reef Brights, tried those. Nothing compared to these OR3 Orphic bars. And these are all the blue ones, so Blue Plus or whatever they call it. Highly, highly recommend them. Not expensive. Shipping took a little bit, like maybe 2 weeks. No big deal. If you want some pop, those are the bars. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Hey, I wanted to thank everybody for subscribing to my channel and commenting. Seriously, I say that, I try to say this every time, but I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and I do make these videos in hopes that people like them. So it really does show me that, you know, people are watching my content and actually somewhat do like it. So that's nice. But it, you know, if you don't like it, that's fine too. So free country, at least here in the U.S., sort of. I'm kidding. All right, everyone. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.